Welcome to the WOD Pod. Join me as I sit down with CrossFitters, fitness experts, top coaches, professional athletes, and other well-known gym goers to listen to their journey through fitness. I managed to pin down father of three, husband, head coach, gym owner, and competition organiser Ad Whiter to discuss his journey from a corporate sales job to launching Blackwall Fitness to then opening a gym right at the start of lockdown. As well as hearing his story and motives behind his brand, I managed to get some insights into the Gunpowder Plot competition taking place on Saturday the 4th of November. Enjoy this one. Right, welcome to the WOD Pod. Thanks for providing the venue back in very familiar territory in Blackwall Fitness.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
First of all, how was CrossFest yesterday?
Oh, awesome, yeah, really awesome.
Really good?
Yeah, dancing stormtroopers in the middle of a workout, you can't really beat it.
Can't beat that, no. First of all, let's get to know you better before we come on to the gym and the comp that's coming up. Whereabouts did you grow up? Were you always from mighty Yorkshire?
Yeah, always. Well, I hate to admit it, I'm a southerner, actually.
Okay.
Not many people know that, but yeah, about 6 weeks old, moved up here. Local lads, been here and there, everywhere. I'd say Ripon would be home, stamping ground Harrogate, and then just kind of been all over, been around the world. But then just came back to beautiful Yorkshire. Couldn't beat it. Can't beat it. Did you go to university? I did go to university. I went to university as a mature student because I didn't try very hard at school. I went to school to play rugby, talk to girls, and eat my dinner. Yep. That was what it was. So I came out with some really crappy... can I swear, by the way?
Yeah, you can swear.
I'm really bad at swearing at the minute, but it's just who I am
No, you can swear.
Degenerate. I got some really shitty A-level grades, so I had to go back as a mature student, pick myself up a first class honours in PE, and then didn't use it until now.
Which uni?
University of Bedfordshire, so a college, a polytechnic.
Is that not? Did you meet Danny at uni?
Yeah, we did. That was probably the best thing that came out of it, was meet my wife. Which is awesome. She's a gymnast and obviously a business partner. She's here and kind of setting the world alight with CrossFit as well. And she's doing great. What did you plan to do after uni, as in career-wise or job-wise? When I left university, I had no job, and I was given an opportunity, an internship for a big sort of national property company, believe it or not, because I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. I had signed off on a rugby career, so I was just a job's a job, and that's what I went and did, and hated it. I moved from that kind of job, like office desk, to another sales job, and was just miserable as hell. But I had no plans. I had no plans through school. Probably why I got such bad A-level grades, whatever else. Yep. Just bumbled around, just did what I could to kind of keep the wolf from the door. How long were you doing sales jobs for before? Oh, interesting. Probably all together after leaving uni, about 7 or 8 years. So quite a long stint then. Yeah, I'd had rugby career ended. I'd had 2 knee reconstructions and loads of complications around it. And then just turned my back on sport and fitness. So it was my passion, but I was like, it's not for me. I've had my chance. It's been fun, but never mind that. And then I was a lot kind of heavier than I am now, a little bit of a fatty. And I shouldn't say that really. That's a terrible terminology for someone who's a coach. But I was carrying too much timber. You're talking about yourself though. Yeah, so exactly. There you go. I'm not making a reference to someone else. It wasn't where I am now. Physically and mentally, not in very good shape. So this was after, I guess it's through your sales jobs, office-based job, you kind of not training. Yeah. When did you either rediscover your passion for fitness again, or why? I went. It was the decline in my physical health and my mental health led me to do things quite drastically. I got admitted to hospital with some complications following an operation, and I got sepsis in my knee capsule, which put me in hospital for 4 weeks straight, in and out the operating theatre to have it drained, and all sorts of concoctions of antibiotics and whatever else. And just being quite reckless, I then decided that I'd go and join the Royal Marines Reserves 12 weeks after, just kind of like, well, what's worse that can happen? Yep. And I started doing a lot of stuff in a little bay in the garden, like under the garage, like just loads of calisthenics, lots of running, lots of bits and pieces. And I was like, this is really good kind of training. Someone should market this. And CrossFit did. But you just didn't know about it. I didn't know about CrossFit, but I was effectively for about 18 months doing CrossFit workouts, like getting bored of squatting and going, well, what if I squat and then do some push-ups? Or what if I go for a run, and running's boring, so why don't every 200 meters I'll do 10 burpees? And you know, that's how I kind of found it. And that was that.
Okay, so when did that lead on to doing your own, like when did you decide to do, well, what essentially is Black Wolf Fitness today? I mean, I saw that photo of a very small, tiny garage unit with one squat rack and one bench and a whiteboard.
So a whiteboard and some bands and adjustable weights. You take the weights off, strip them back on.
So was that initially what you were using for yourself? And then when did you start to think, okay, I'm going to train people?
Because I hated my job. I was really upset with life. I was really, it was one of those kind of, there must be more to life than this. And when things got really, really crap, I kept thinking, well, I could always like pass on my knowledge to someone else. I could always PT. I could always make my income doing that, and that'd be what I would do. And I just remember one day, like, just being proper down in the dumps. I don't mind talking about mental health, but just really, really crap. Like, there's not an awful lot that's going on in life. Whatever. And I remember driving, Danny was living south at the time, and I remember driving down there, I remember sitting on the edge of the bed just going, like, I've just got to do something, whatever else. And all of a sudden just got to kind of thinking about this, and it was a really weird thing. Everyone in the village knew I had my old dog Enya, who's a big shaggy black German Shepherd, and everyone would be like, you're the guy with the Black Wolf. And I was like, okay, well, it's Black Wolf Fitness. That's a real obvious kind of thing to go down. Yeah. And then it was like friends and family. Please, like, come PT in my garage. So middle of winter, everyone's freezing their balls off in my garage, and we're just doing bits and pieces. And that was the initial kind of foray into this being a career.
Yep. How long ago was that then?
Oh, goodness me. Do you know what? I couldn't even put a date to it. We've been open 3 years here. I'd say there's probably like a 2-year period before that. Maybe 10 years. Maybe 10 years, which makes me feel really, really old because it feels like yesterday. But yeah, maybe 10 years.
So for a long time, you were in a very small unit doing one-to-one PT?
Yeah.
How long was that?
Sorry, Tommy. For the small bits and pieces like that, I was really fortunate. Is the thing that really took off is I got an opportunity to coach at a CrossFit gym, and I went in and did that, and it was like trying to schedule me to kind of do bits and pieces.
Yep.
And with the sepsis that I had lots of time off work, so I felt guilty about taking holiday. Weirdly, so I didn't take any holiday. And then a few years down the line, someone came to me and said, look, you got 30 days holiday to take. And I said, okay, well, can I take 30 days holiday? No. Will you pay me for 30 days? No. So I said, okay, I'm going to take 30 weeks of Mondays off. And they didn't like that, but that's kind of how it played out.
Yep.
So I took those Mondays, I started working for a CrossFit gym, just to kind of cut my teeth and see if I was any good at it, see if I kind of found a bit of passion around it and could do it. And then as those 30 weeks finished, I just took the jump. I started a boot camp. I got an opportunity to coach in a CrossFit gym in the north. I went up to CrossFit Glacier, and those guys just filled me up, gave me loads of kind of direction and help. And all of a sudden I had like 5 days worth of like fingers in different pies, doing all sorts. Yeah.
What was your biggest hurdle that you had to like overcome launching this gym?
This gym?
Yeah.
Oh, COVID.
I mean, first of all, that's an obvious one. I mean, no one's really mad enough except you to go, okay, I'm going to take a huge leap and launch my own gym in COVID.
Yeah.
Go on, talk to me about why you did it then.
That was, again, I'm actually really happy talking about mental health, and I think that I'm really enjoying this movement at the minute where people are really upfront and open about it, because there's people that you see that you think, oh yeah, they're swimming along, everything's going great, and then someone like actually vocalizes where they were at, and you're like, holy shit, like you can relate to that. It's really positive. For me, it was like everything was born out of like, to use the expression, rolling the dice. Like if I roll the dice, like what's the worst that can happen? I already feel like shit.
Yep.
And it was this kind of like this dawning moment of like, so just go and do it. Like if you get laughed out, what's the problem? You're already kind of hating where you're at. So it was a really, really simple thing for us to kind of do it. There was a chain of events that sort of happened where we had a little family. We had Hallie that had just joined us. COVID hit. The story of Black Wolf. So we found this location, we agreed a lease, and then 2 weeks later we went into lockdown. And I was like, well, this is absolutely fine, because the government has said, no, like no one's doing anything, non-essential building, all this, that and the other. I said, so it'd be great. So by the time the pandemic's kind of like all right, we'll have a window where they finish the building and then we can kind of move in, we can get our house in order, raise some funds, this, that and the other. And I used to come and do the shop, like you will have to go shopping when you want to stay or whatever.
Yep.
And I'd overshoot Borough Bridge to come down here. Shit, they're building. And it was just going up and moving forward. And and I was there thinking this time frame is not going to work. So by the time we kind of came out, we were really sound landlords. And I came down and met our landlord, and he said, we had a chit chat about bits and pieces. And he said, look, I'm going to be honest with you, I wouldn't normally do this, but I appreciate where we're at. We can just terminate everything and we can sort of move forward if you want. And again, just that rolling of the dice, my mindset was like, let's fucking go, let's do this. Like, there was me and my wife, and we had a good group of people around us. We already had a boot camp set up and everyone was G'd up and happy. So what's the worst that can happen? You always file bankruptcy.
And actually, true. And actually, I think it actually worked well in COVID because people were sat at home doing nothing. And it was the perfect time to market a new gym. People were also getting so frustrated. I was getting frustrated. Yeah. Because I was actually in a flat. I had nowhere to go and train. So when I saw that there was a CrossFit gym opening in COVID, I thought, like, ideal. I can't wait to get there. It was almost like building the hype even more. Yeah.
We had a lot of people who said, like, about it being quite a ballsy move. And I say, we'd take that 100%. It was a ballsy move to do it. You know, it was a really weird time. We were getting quotes for equipment that literally 2 days later they tripled because of the demand for kind of home gyms and stuff like that. It was a crazy thing to do, and it took big guts. But in terms of like the actual initial splash, the opportunity that we had to do that, there's loads of room. We had this kind of like this marketing thing we did where we just started sowing seeds of intrigue, where we were there. Like I think our first post was like, something's coming ... and I just panned the camera around the corner. I didn't even show the unit, like loads of stuff got people thinking, I don't know, like that kind of shining a light, like something good is going to happen.
Well, that was it. Everyone was in such a dark place. Yeah. So there was something positive was like, jump on it.
Yeah. 100%.
So I think it worked well.
It did, yeah.
What was the reason for not going down the CrossFit affiliate route?
At the time, I'd worked with during the pandemic when we were in lockdown. I was doing all sorts of stuff just to kind of keep a roof over our head. We'd done a lot of apparel to kind of offset and build the brand a little bit whilst we were coaching for other gyms. And I'd started when the pandemic hit. There was a lot of people that like wanted a bit of guidance and direction around different elements of their business. So I'd started to put myself out there as like hey, let me help you with this, whether it's graphic design or rebranding or anything, just trying to be like the ultimate entrepreneur. Like, I'll do that, I can do that, I'll teach myself to do it, and then I can do it, just to kind of keep a roof over our family's head. And the amount of people that I came across that were affiliated to CrossFit that were using it as this massive safety net, and I was like, there's no safety net. You're paying for a marketing brand. It's like if we hired Authentic Productions and said, can you make me this video? And we make this video and we embed it in our website, and then I go back to them and go, we're not getting any more people. Like, that's not on them. It's just a tool. They've given us a little bit of content to do something with. It's on us to deliver. And I think for me that's where CrossFit, and they don't even deny this, you can kind of find it in what they're doing, is that kind of marketing. I think they're getting much better at pulling people together and building that community and really offering that support, so credit to them there. But for us, the real reason is Greg Glassman had just been caught out for his stupid tweet about Floyd 19, where someone talked about racism being the real pandemic, etc., and he foolishly thought he'd do something that was pretty unfunny. And I remember working with a number of London boxers at the time that were going to CrossFit and saying, look, what are you going to do about this? Because we have a black community of members that are enraged and incensed and leaving. So it was a really easy thing for me to sit on the fence for a little while and try and weigh up whether or not we were a part of that community or not. And then obviously those allegations became further when there was all the kind of a lot of people coming out around his sexual misconduct and things like that. So it was a really easy thing for me to sit back and take that £3,000 a year or whatever it is and invest it somewhere else. I mean,
into equipment, into making the gym a better place.
I mean, there's three rowers sat right there.
Exactly, so, straight away when you're looking at those.
So it was a really easy thing. Marketing was good. We'd pre-sold 50 memberships. By 2 months after that, there was another 50 memberships gone out the door. So we were at a capacity of 100 within 2 months. Sound like I'm bragging, I am a little bit, but ultimately that idea of doing it, I wanted to be CrossFit because they're the gyms I'd worked for, that's what I'd been a part of, the network I had built. Everyone was a part of that kind of virtual community. but we just didn't, and then we didn't need to, and we never have needed to.
I think that's it. When you when you got full capacity pretty much straight away, if you hadn't have had that, you may have then revisited and thought, do we then join it as an affiliate? But if you've got a full gym, at that point there's no need to use their marketing material to
100%, and no one excludes us. I mean, we've got a wicked network of people. We go to competitions, the competitions that we host, we get all sorts of affiliates with us. No one's there going, you're the black sheep, you're the guys that aren't a part of the club. I think the bright people that run and own CrossFit gyms understand what it is that they've bought into and what the name of the game, what they're trying to achieve from it. And if they need that, I used to work for CrossFit Glacier, and if I spoke to the chap that owned that, he'd say, it's the easiest marketing I get. People type CrossFit gym into Google and I come up. People type CrossFit gym into Google, we don't come up. We're not a CrossFit gym. So that's to the benefit of the other CrossFit gyms in our area, but our reputation supersedes that, which is great. So happy days. Yep.
Congratulations on recently becoming a father of 3. How's that?
Thank you.
How's that affected being a owner and coach of a gym?
I'd say that I'm really, really fortunate in the sense that, firstly, like, massive props to my wife, who just runs the show. I mean, our most recent competition, I said it then, I was just like, none of this could happen if I wasn't given free rein to just kind of come here and work and and add what I add. Our community as well, proper understanding when you're a little bit bleary-eyed and whatever else, and the standards don't slip, but everyone's very much like, if you had to close the gym for the afternoon, no one would mind. We don't do that, but it's really nice in the back of your mind. That pressure's off because you know that your people have got your back, which is awesome.
Which helps.
Yeah.
What's the next big move for Black Wolf in terms of, because I know a while ago we spoke about potentially a new premises, and then you've maybe mentioned, kind of doing slight improvements to the gym.
Yeah, I think for me with this is that there's a number of things and some of the best kind of reading and best advice I've sort of had on this is that there's a lot of ego around sort of development, and if you want to look at this premises, this building that we pay for 24/7, is you have to ask the question, is that bucket full? Are we actually maximizing everything? Because when you move to another premises, or you turn around and say, well, look, I'm going to turn this 3,000 square foot unit into a 6,000 square foot unit, what do you need that space for? Where's the space here? Where's the gaps in your timetable, whatever else? So I'd say for us, my main focus is making sure that this is absolutely singing. To fill that bucket.
Bursting to the seams before you then jump ship.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
You've done it too soon.
And I think for me as well is that idea of watering down what you're doing. I actually had someone approach me about a franchise about a year ago, and I couldn't. Have you seen The Founder? Have you seen the McDonald's movie?
Not yet.
I tell you what, brief summary, long and short of it is there's 2 brothers, the McDonald brothers, and they've tried franchising it, but they can't handle the fact that someone's going to take their baby and water it down. Right. And in the end, the founder, I've forgotten the name of the guy, but he comes in and effectively does that. And he does that to the point where he offers the same thing, and it's better, it's more lucrative, you make way more money, but you diminish the product that you've got. And for me, like, this is... Black Wolf Fitness is me, it's heart and soul, it's everything. I don't want to make any moves that maybe I buy a bigger house, a better car, or the other material crap that doesn't matter. But this diminishes. This is watered down, and it's not that thing that people come to our competitions, our memberships. Like, I hope and believe that the majority of people are like, those guys are fucking on it. Like they're doing the best they can. And I think for me is that another premises 100% is on the radar, but not unless the stars align and we can make it true to what we've kind of set out to do. So filling that bucket, that's what we're doing at the minute, just making sure we maximize everything.
Yeah, I've seen you've introduced Black Wolf teams. I mean, it makes complete sense, because if you look at the CrossFit Games athletes now, well, the generation now that are doing CrossFit, every year it seems to get younger and younger. You've now got almost like 12, 13-year-olds.
They are the future.
I know, but it's scary how young they're starting now. I think that never used to be the case.
At a grassroots level, the really important thing is that it's like, they talk about the cult of CrossFit. That idea of like, when you start this, when you find it, all of a sudden it's like you're telling all your mates, this is what I do on a weekend, or this is, Monday through Friday, I attend these classes, and it just becomes this massive thing, and you become that bore. All they talk about is this, because it's magic. It is amazing. Physical, mental benefits are huge. So it's only natural that, you know, husbands bring wives, wives bring husbands. And then you look at your kids and you're like, so for me, my kids aren't going to be forced to do this. Well, they're not going to have to do it like 7 days a week, and they're not going to have to do it competitively or whatever. But I want them to get the benefits by doing it somewhat in their program of life. Yeah. And I think for me, as the teens thing is really natural, we get a lot of it. It would be really shitty of us not to kind of offer something that our members can say, right, that box is ticked for my family. You know, like it's a little bit encompassing.
Bring everyone.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Do you think that's going to grow? I mean, what's the vision with Black Wolf Teens? Do you think
we want to make it as big as we possibly can. Yeah. We've got a lot of kind of school links as well. We'd like to take it into schools. We'd like to get more and more people here. We get contact from sports teams. We don't charge. You know, the sports teams that have kind of come to us, like kids school things, and we can't afford to do it all the time. But we had a rugby club recently. They got in touch and said, you know, we want to bring some kids down. I think they'd be 11 or 12. Blah blah blah. This, that, and the other. I don't know if they know this or not. We haven't discussed price because I'd rather them just be in and experience it for the sake of us having an hour of planting that seed. And fingers crossed it's like becomes a thing where, again, not to rival other sports or whatever else, but I think if I had this when I was playing rugby at a junior level, I think I'd have been a hell of a player. I think I think at 37, I think 37-year-old would kick Adam in his prime, Adam's arse in his prime at 21. So I think even that just kind of supplements sport. Kids that go into gyms and just move badly. I mean, we've all done it. We're all that ego lifting, like deadlifts, where you just look like a prawn the whole way up. And having someone to actually come in and say, stop, do it this way. You know, even if they don't make this their sport, if you can just 100%. Nip it in the bud.
I mean, I remember when I was doing the gym training for when I was playing rugby, there was no one in the gym giving you any advice on what you were doing. It was just who could lift the heaviest weight, who could deadlift the most, and your form was horrific. But
it's like, you know, why aren't I getting better at sport? Like, well, because you're bicep curling 5 days a week, because that's all you know. So for us, it's just we're kind of building lots of links as best we possibly can. I mean, for me, timetabling's always a bit of a juggle, but if we could do it 5 days a week and get those numbers, we do really well at the minute. We're singing, we get great groups of kids. We cap at 12 purely just because it's a juggle. It's like herding cats, and you've got different age levels and abilities. But we do as much as we possibly could.
Do you still coach now?
Yes. Yeah,
do you think you'll always want to be a coach?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
What are your biggest pet peeves as a coach?
Pet peeves as a coach? That's a really interesting one, because our members are going to listen to this and they're going to feel like personally attacked if I say
this is a great opportunity to put some things right.
You reckon?
I think the main one, if not that I'm a coach, but it's got to be the equipment. It's the way people leave.
Oh yeah,
especially with your OCD.
Yeah, when people are kind of messy with stuff, that kind of gets me, especially when you've made a lot of effort with it. But the thing I always try and like remind myself of is that, like, people are coming from jobs. Like, always think that. So when you get people that turn up and like people are talking and you're there trying to like, come around guys, I want to start the class, come around, and you're like, well, this is a playground, this is a bit of time off, so I'm gonna sound like I'm just like, nothing bothers me, like, but genuinely, like, I think for me is that when you remind yourself that, like, it's we sell the best hour of someone's day, so that's the plan. And if that means that they want to drag their ass around a little bit and talk to their mates and whatever else, there is an element of kind of like, the show has to go on, but at the same time, like, it's their membership, they're keeping the lights on, they're keeping me from going and getting a regular job, you know, so
sure. And there aren't many pro athletes here. It's people who have normal jobs, who have a normal life outside of it. So they've come from a meeting and they're 5 minutes late, or they've had a really stressful day and they're performing pretty slow because they're knackered. So you've got to remember all that as a coach.
100%.
But 100%. No, you do like your OCD with plates and boxes.
Oh,
and
me,
rowers
I think for me, like, it's funny because when we host the competitions, we have everyone gets really taken aback by it because we don't drop wall balls. Like, the wall ball finishes when it's in your hands, and then you can kind of drop it from hip height or something like that. Because I've worked and trained at gyms where everything's just absolutely shagged, and when a wall ball's like £80 a shot, you're there thinking, like, you got 10 of them to buy. It is it's crazy. But our guys are really, really good. I mean, if someone drops a dumbbell, the whole class looks around as if to go, ooh. But it's good. It's just good admin. It's just good admin. It's just not taking a bit of ownership as well. Which is
we'll
cool.
probably see that at the Gunpowder Plot when you've got half the people immaculately putting the wall balls on the ground, and everyone
That's
else
the
just
one.
letting them drop from the top.
That's the one. I think Danny did that on the last one. Is there was someone who dropped a wall ball and she no rep. She just no rep them. Just no rep. And the guy turned around and was like, what do you mean? Why is it no rep? And she's like, you were briefed at the start. We do not drop wall balls. Just like
well, the main one is when it hits the J hook.
That's the one. Yeah,
it just splits the
loads of
wall
stuff.
ball,
Well, like when people drop dumbbells and they bounce like rugby balls and they just like disappear. Yeah, it is what it is.
Okay, well, this probably is a good time to go on to the Gunpowder Plot.
Yeah.
This is the third competition that's been in this gym.
Yep.
First one was Rep It Out by Graft Events in 2021.
You did that, didn't you?
I did that one, yeah. It was good. Then SummerSlam was in August earlier this year. And then the Gunpowder Plot is going to be on Bonfire Night weekend.
That's the one.
Same-sex threes. Can we get an exclusive teaser of maybe one movement, or have you not written the workouts yet?
I'm still on with it. CrossFest has like blown my mind a little bit because they did some really cool stuff that I kind of want to put in there. One thing I can kind of like say, we talked about this earlier, is the whole like the max out will never just be an isolated max out. That's one thing I can say. Yep. Like I like this. I like this idea. The real kick I get out of my lifting is not just being able to kind of like, that's my max number. I want to be able to do that around burpees and around rowing, around everything, or you know, hit a single at 95%, but do it in 5 minutes. Like that's cool stuff to me. So we saw it at the SummerSlam where we made them do power cleans and burpees before they even got started, and it just separated it. All the big guys that ego lift and that's their thing. They get rolled out for 25% of the scores to kind of just put a big snatch or a big clean and jerk in there. They had to do a little bit more, which is surely what functional fitness and CrossFit is all about.
Try doing that with your heart rate at 200.
Yeah, 100%.
Then it's different.
So I can say the lift element for all the big boys and girls out there, they're going to have to earn it before they're allowed to just go and flex.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
Sounds good. What was the motive, or what was the reason you decided to start doing comps from Black Wolf, but not keeping it in-house, taking it to like a wider audience?
I'm really proud of what we do. I'm really proud of the brand. I'm really proud of the space. And that was one thing. I wanted everyone to kind of see what we're about. I'd love to kind of be, I mean, we're a little box. We're a small box that's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, the horses come and eat the verge from the other side of the fence and whatever else. I said this to someone the other day. We're like a CrossFit episode of Emmerdale where we are.
Pretty much.
But so yeah, I wanted to kind of like, you know, put us on the map a little bit. We're right on the side of the road. Anyone that's traveling from the south, you know, headed up Newcastle way, Scotland way, or anything like that, and, you know, we're a wicked drop in, come in, and we love seeing people. So I kind of want it to be recognised. Would be cool. I think that competition. I think anybody who steps foot in a CrossFit facility, a functional fitness facility, has a competitive edge to them. If it's not with other people, it's with themselves. They want to do better. Competing, experiencing competition, I think, is such a good motivator for your training. I have to have a date in the diary that I'm working towards. If I hadn't have had CrossFest yesterday, I think having had the twins recently, training would have been really disjointed, but I've had to at least keep bobbing along the surface so that I don't go and just have a really crap time at a competition. So I wanted to provide a really friendly space for our box and local boxes. We get loads of support from all the other CrossFit boxes in the area that come and get involved, and that's wicked. If we can plant that seed and those people are like, okay, 2 or 3 times a year, I'm going to find a local throwdown and go and do some adult PE, go and do a sports day, and that keeps you tuned in for the year. It
gives you a reason to keep training to that level.
100%, yeah.
How did the first one go? Because I think, well, this was the first one you've done, SummerSlam.
So Rep It Out, we handed it over to Graft, and they put on an awesome event. That was really, really cool. So
SummerSlam, what was the biggest thing you learned from that? Or maybe that you do differently?
Oh,
or did it go well?
It went really well.
Yeah,
it went really, really well. I can't kind of grumble. We had a bit of a teething problem at the start, but there was completely out of our remit on that, and it didn't affect the work. Like, it didn't affect the day. No one kind of picked up on it. I don't want to sound like everything was perfect, but I think that's a weird one. Yeah, we were really happy with how it went.
Yep.
Really happy with how it went.
workouts all went smooth, timing went well.
Yeah, okay, so there you go. That's a really good one. The fourth workout that we did was wicked. Like it was so good. It was like you do the same workout over and over again, but in a different time domain. So like I think it was let me think. I can't remember exact numbers, but it might have been like 2 minutes to get as far through the workout as you can, rest a minute. 4 minutes to get as far through the workout as you can, rest a minute.
Right, okay.
6 minutes. And it was so cool, and we'll do it again. But logistically, I think I might just make it a little simpler because the judges, bless them, like they did amazing. Like we had judges that had just come off their foundations. They'd been with us like 6 weeks, and they were like, "Yeah, I'll do it," and they did such an awesome job. But Christ, did they earn their day? Yeah, like it was so, But yeah, it was that was good. I think sometimes simple is better. Yeah, like you make something simple, throw one thing that offers a little bit of disturbance, and then call it quits. Yeah.
Okay, and how many competitions are you planning to do next year?
Next year we've got a definite 3, and I'd like to squeeze a 4th one in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know when the first one will be? So
the first one the one that we're literally just looking to pin down a date on is a spring competition. Okay. We've got a lot of people asking for mixed stuff, mixed pairs. Potentially could go down the route of 2 chaps and a lady, because I think that most gyms that you look at, in my experience, there's probably double the amount of RX male athletes as there is female athletes. So that allows yourself to do that whole like 2 blokes, 1 lady, everyone's happy, and you move through that. And the room for the exciting programming is really cool as well. So like we've got same-sex 3s and Gunpowder Plot. I'm really excited about there being 3 people and what each person is going to be doing, so that it's not just 2 people watching 1 person row. You know, like the twists and turns that you can kind of have there. I'm excited.
Same-sex 3s at Glacier Games.
Yeah. I was supposed to do that. Qualified for that, and then got poorly. Yeah.
Well, they did some really cool stuff. So they did part of the workouts. It was one person working, the other person was carrying another person.
They did a wheelbarrow race.
And they did a wheelbarrow as well, which no one's ever preparing for that.
Nah,
but it's good because it throws another element into the mix.
So this is the thing for me, is that what I love about that sort of stuff. I think CrossFit's losing their way at the games. I think it's turned into a bit of a circus with, athletes that have turned up and like, what were the crossovers with skipping and stuff like that. I mean, that's a skill. If no one's been working on it, they're going to have a really crap time. Some of the gymnastics stuff where literally the sky's the limit. But I do like that kind of grassroots, like, I don't know, maybe we'll do an egg and spoon race or a sack race on that. I'm just,
why not?
But you know what I mean? You can do something that's relates to what people have been training to. Yeah. Low skill, but just a different angle, definitely.
And at that level comp, I think people are open to just having a good time.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Whether when it gets to CrossFit Games, it's not fair to put in something that
exactly
defines your fitness by your ability to do a skill.
Fun comes first. Yeah, fun comes first. I mean, I'm not looking to bury someone or humiliate someone. Someone stands there and they're like, okay, well, I can't do that. I can't do it in that volume. They're not going to come back next year. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to some personal goals from your side. Have you got any goals in mind for next year?
Is it a personal thing or is it a business thing?
Business, or maybe competing wise, or
competing for me, just kind of stay in the game. I'd love to qualify for Arnold's. Yeah. That'd be the one. Last year got COVID and missed out. I think I missed out by like 4 spaces in qualifying. I was a bit gutting. Obviously, I haven't done it this year, so I think I'm going to make Arnold's my kind of games.
Priority.
My thing. I'd love to go.
Well, that's individual as well, so
it's
all on you then, and I think that's.
So I'm going to start doing some individual comps.
Yeah.
So if anyone knows any north or south anywhere solo comps, drop a message, because that's what I'd love to do. Get some practice in with some solo comps.
Rainhill could be a good one. That's individual.
Yeah, that would be good actually. It's only Manchester, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's basically you qualify and then you get put into the category rather than picking your category. They put you in. So
with Rainhill, like, is there not a case where people sandbag it? They're really bad in the qualifiers. They get their place in the ballot and then they just go and smash their category.
Yes, but I think it's so obvious on the comp day that everyone kind of looks at them to go, "We know what you did."
Yeah, but you're the asshole for doing it. Yeah,
so I wouldn't
do that. No. But I'm just like, it makes you wonder about the level playing field.
Possibly, but I still think it's a good way of doing it because
100%. Yeah, 100%.
And You weren't at Wadland this year.
We weren't at Wadland this year.
Are you going to be there next year?
I'd love to. I'd love to get a couple of teams together. I think it's a really, really great event. I think it's really novel. The being out in the woods, and it's a lot of fun. And if you can build a weekend around it where you find a good campsite and you get on some beers and you eat fish and chips out the packaging, you know, the night before or after. I'd love to do it. I think it's just kind of. You have to be clever with how you put teams together. Again, making sure that everyone goes and has a good weekend and no one gets kind of stitched up. That's a juggle. That's a real challenge to make sure that no one's kind of having a tough time because they can't keep up with some fit people, or the fit people or fitter people are kind of struggling because there's a bit of handbrake on them, sort of really flourishing and having a go. So, as a box owner, you've got to be really careful with that as well. You don't want to promote something that puts somebody off. A competing because I think it's magic, but B, just functional fitness in general. We don't want people sort of getting back to a pure gym just because they had a crap weekend. Yeah,
I do think it's quite a novelty comp. So once you've done it maybe a few times in a row, it can get quite repetitive. Yeah, but I do think if you've got a lot of new members.
So that's the thing. For me, I'd said to Chris, he's a great guy. I'd said to him last year that I wouldn't do it because I'd done it 3 years in a row. We were there the first year they did it, and thereafter, so I'd experienced a lot of the same things. But again, the novelty factor of taking someone out there and going, hey, do you know in the games where they do multiple laps of the bike, you're going to do that in a woodland, you know, like that, and it's awesome. Or, you know, big freestanding rig that's made out of timber, and like you do turn up, and even just the entrance to it, the banner that's there, the trees open, and then you've got this dance floor that's just this paddock and everything. It is magic.
It is good, Well, I'm definitely going to be there next year, so hope to see you there.
Yeah, proper.
You had, obviously, Hallie, then twins.
Yeah, Freya and Indy.
Triplets on the way?
A snip on the way, I think. I just don't. It's the fear of God, the fact that if you could have kids again and it could potentially be multiple babies again. But it's magic. Like I say, I'm really lucky. My wife knocks it out of the park. And it is really, really tough. There's a lot of like a lack of sleep, a lot of sort of moving from one job to the other job. I come and graft my ass off here, but I definitely have time off here. When I go home, that's when the real work begins. But it's magic.
Worth it.
It's magic. It's magic. I don't want to be that guy that's like, kids are just the most amazing thing in the world, but they offer such a different dimension, and they can be hard work and hell for 90% of the time, but the 10% that they bring is just like, this is mint. I'm right where I need to be. Yeah.
Previous guest, Georgina, had a question for you, but she didn't know who the guest was going to be, so it's kind of a generic open question. If you could do one thing differently in your career, what would it be and why?
One thing different in my career? This career is what I'm doing. One thing differently.
Start earlier.
Was the obvious one. I mean, but then again, we get a lot where people in their 40s come and find this and they kick themselves. They're almost mad. And I'm like, shut up. Like, you found it now. You could have found it in your 50s, your 60s, or not found it at all. Like, just be buzzing with what you've got. So, found it. Obviously, everyone wants to find this earlier. Everyone thinks, like, from a competitive sport point of view, I feel like I would have been a monster if I'd had functional fitness.
But in terms of the gym, you wouldn't necessarily have done this had you not had that switch that made you go, okay, I'm done with doing what I'm doing. I need to do something differently.
Yeah, all things lead to this. I mean, again, the risk of getting deep with this, it'd be really simple to turn around and go, oh, well, I wish this, that, and the other. But I think that all roads lead to where you are today. And a lot of the stuff, like a lot of the resolve that I have now is because there were parts of life that were really shit. There were parts of life where you didn't see the light and you couldn't see it getting any better. And then when you find yourself in this scenario, like the idea of rolling the dice and doing this, if there hadn't been the dark days, you wouldn't have been here puffing your chest out going, do you know what? Despite everything being against us, we're just going to go and do it. And so for me, I think that, and I'd say that to anybody that would ask that question and go, oh, I wish, or looking over the garden fence syndrome, where I'm just like, get it, get that out of your head. Just everything that's happened has put you where you are today. And if you don't like where you are today, like if I'm sitting here going, then again, exactly. Yeah. Just be proactive, move forward with it. It's so easy to say it when you're in a good, positive, like mental state, but genuinely, that's I think that's where you are. Yeah.
Going to do some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Least favourite exercise in CrossFit or functional fitness?
Thruster.
What's your go-to post-workout meal?
Go-to post-workout meal? Yeah. Competition meal, like takeaway pizza or something like that.
Nice. Favourite brand of fitness trainers?
Rad Ones. Easy, yeah.
Do you prefer a warm-up or a cool-down?
What's a cool-down?
Exactly.
I'm 37. I warm up more than ever.
What sauce do you get when you go for a Nando's?
I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. I think Nando's is overrated. I've probably had 2 in my life. I'd rather cook a chicken myself.
Fair enough. What's your favourite song for a 1 rep max back squat?
Oh, interesting. Duality, Slipknot. Yeah.
Heavy. And what's the best gym you've ever been to except for this one?
Oh, interesting. I'm going to say CrossFit Long Beach. No, I'm not sure if it's... Fuck, I can't remember what it's called.
Where was it?
Shall I tell you a little story real quick? Loved Ryan Fisher. Loved his whole attitude around like nearly getting disqualified from the games for telling a judge he was going to fucking kill them because they no-repped him and all that sort of stuff. So I started following Ryan Fisher. So we went to California, we went to CrossFit Chalk, which was an awesome gym. It was absolutely amazing. Yep. Just absolutely wicked. And on our way back from having had a workout there, we went back to our motel and we didn't see it on the way out because it was on the other side, but there was a CrossFit gym there. So we went and had a look at this place and I was going to do my head in as to what it was called. But it's like Huntington Beach, like big surf territory.
Yep.
And we went in there and it was a guy that had been a part of a CrossFit gym that got closed down. And he was like, well, you're going to take away my safe haven. This is terrible. So he opened up a gym, employed everybody that was there, let all the members come across and whatever else. And you walked in this gym and it had screens, like TV screens all the way around with all the different American sport channels and a bar at the back that was like had Pilsner on tap and whatever else. That was the coolest. And it's going to drive me mad.
You'll find it after.
I will, yeah, 100%.
I'll be able to find it as well.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention before we wrap up the episode?
For me, just like people in the local area, like come and get involved. I'd say the biggest thing for those looking at CrossFit and functional fitness is this fear of not being fit enough, fear that it's going to be absolute monsters and way out of their league and whatever else, and not realizing how accessible it is. To use that expression again, not rolling the dice, not stepping foot through the door and just saying to hell with it all. What's the worst thing that can happen? I go, I hate it, I come home, I never touch it again. I'd say that anyone that's local. Yeah. Anyone has a local box, go and do it. Anyone who's in North Yorkshire and is local too, between Boroughbridge and Knaresborough, half an hour's distance away, whatever, just get involved, roll the dice and do it. Yeah. And obviously our competitions, we are working so hard to make sure that we are offering the best and biggest in box throwdowns we possibly can. So make that journey. We're wicked with the Gunpowder Plot. I think out of the 30 teams that are coming, they're from 15 different boxes, which is so awesome. Yep. I really, really hope that word is spreading through the boxes and people come and see just what
I think the main thing is the other boxes should be wanting to get involved.
Yeah.
To not only almost bring their energy and their groups of people in, is to celebrate that you're all involved in the same industry together.
Yeah, 100%.
I know the 1111 guys they're all over it.
This is magic. Yeah. This is the really cool thing. And I'd say I'm not going to mention names because then I'll look like this business owner that wants to sling mud at other people. So I'm not going to do that. But there are a number of boxes that are right behind us that if you were to turn around and say, are they competitive like with our business? Well, yeah, they're picking from the same pool as us, but you know, you can have multiple restaurants in a town because not everyone wants to eat Italian food every night. Every time they treat themselves to go out for something to eat, or Chinese food, or Mexican food, or whatever it might be. Everyone brings their own flavor. Everyone has their own direction. Everyone has their own feel, and it's really important for anyone that's picking somewhere to go train is to do some tourism. Have a month. If you decide to do functional fitness, have a month where you go, okay, I'm going to do a week here, a week here, a week here. The box owner will love it. That's their chance to show you exactly what they've got. And I think that smart people. Now I sound like I'm slinging mud at the people that don't back it. They're the thick people. But smart people know that. They'll have some kind of confidence in what they're doing. Yep. And we've got some really wicked local people behind us. So the people that are behind us and are actively promoting what we're doing, they're not there thinking, well, shit, what if they go to Black Wolf and love it? Like, well, if they do, they do. And maybe they don't. Maybe they'll come back and it's just another awesome thing that they're kind of like, they know on their doorstep, they've got their box, they've got their home, they've got their HQ, but they're going to flirt with other boxes to go and do their competitions and stuff. So we've got some really wicked people around us. Sadly, we've got some people that don't want to offer that to their people, and that's their prerogative.
Yeah. But if you're proud of what you're doing and back your own business, then there should be no issue in doing
100%.
that. Yeah,
100%.
Socials. So can we just give a plug for all yours? Well, the gym first of all.
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, so I thought you were saying socials in terms of like what we do. I was going to list off all the events we've got coming up there. No, we don't need to do that.
I meant add your socials in just so people can either follow the gym, see what we're up to. Yeah. The Gunpowder Plot, all the comps are going to be done through the Black Wolf page.
They are. I think that because it's in its infancy, as big as it is, I quite like the fact that our Instagram page is really, really busy and everyone's getting like a real screenshot of everything we're doing. So even the apparel, we get a lot of people from up and down the UK that still buy our apparel, even though they're not kind of affiliated to this gym. We try and be as cool as we possibly can and do some like limited edition releases and things like that. So it's really nice. It's all in one place, the apparel, the competitions, and then obviously our class-based sort of sessions and whatever else. We're just Black Wolf Fitness on Instagram, nice and simple. And BWF Ad on Instagram. My Instagram is literally just to kind of show people that I'm a regular person, just practicing what I preach, and trying to promote good things, positive energy.
Which is great.
100%.
I think that's everything. I think we are done. Thanks for joining me. It's a really good episode. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks, man.
Looking forward to the Gunpowder Plot.
100%. Absolute pleasure. Thank you, mate.
No worries. I hope you enjoyed that episode, and a huge thank you for listening. Make sure you're following the pod on Instagram at the.wad.pod, our Twitter at the_wad_pod. The podcast is sponsored by Wad Powders. That's at Wad Powders on Instagram. Please show some support to the pod by either sharing this episode with a mate or buying some supplements from wadpowders.co.uk. See you guys next week.